Glacier Peak Grizzlies, Jackson Tmberwolves. Bill Kusler's here, Tom Lafferty, that's me, our statistician Pat Castro, Buddy Patrick, our director of social media, and on the audio graphics, Brandon Hamilton, our radio network producer. We're underway, and it'll be Jackson with it, and Jackson scoring right away off the opening tip. They go down low, and going in is Joe Capone for the bucket, and it's a 2-0 lead for the Jackson Tmberwolves.
Good penetration by Christian Liddell, and he drew the defense and hit Capone for the lay-in.
And here's a near steal, but Glacier Peak will keep it. Glacier Peak moving to our right here on their home floor in their white jerseys, trimmed in dark navy blue and silver, and they dump it down low off the glass in. Foul called. Fletcher Douglas got it at the baseline, put it up, bounced it off the window, it dropped through, tied the score at 2, and he'll...
Bobby Martin came in, drew the double team, knew exactly where he wanted to throw the ball, got it inside to Douglas, who hits the shot, and looking for a three-pointer the old-fashioned way.
He puts it up, and it is good, and we do have our first lead change. This could be a tight ball game. Which coach was it that told you, hey, we just need a win?
I think every coach says that.
Yeah, we don't care how it looks. We just want the win. Now Jackson moving to our left. They're in the traveling black uniforms with green numbers, white trim. Down to 16 to shoot. They're just kind of static with it, and they will launch up a three. Kevin Hahn will miss it, and the rebound's going to be grabbed down by Glacier Peak's Noah Foreman, and out of backcourt here they come. Running the point out at the top of the key will be Braden Corwin, and he carried the basketball. John McGinnis is the referee, and he saw Braden Corwin kind of changing direction with his body and just kind of scoop the ball around with him, trying to turn the corner back, and he says that's a travel, that's a double dribble, and here we go, right back over off the rebound, or off the turnover. Glacier Peak with it. Jackson with it. Shot on the way, three ball goes down, and to the deck goes the shooter, and to the free throw line will go the shooter, Christian Liddell.
Liddell had 35 points the other night, a great shooter, and he has an opportunity to make a 4-point play here as Bobby Martin came out on him and chested him up. He hit the deck, but the ball went in.
And the free throw goes in as well, and that 1-point lead for Glacier Peak is now a 3-point lead for Jackson, 6-3. Here in the early going at Glacier Peak High School. Dribble drive to the baseline, going in, off the glass, in, good. Trey Lawrence took it to the rack and put it in for Glacier Peak, and it's a 6-5 lead now for Jackson.
Lawrence has 4 inches on Liddell, so look for him to try to post the ball up like he did that time.
Way out top side, Bigovich looked at a three, didn't take it. They'll bounce it down low instead to Capone. Turns, faces, fires, air ball, won't go. Kept alive by his teammate Kevin Hahn, but right into the hands of Braden Corwin, and here comes Glacier Peak out of backcourt. The Grizzlies moving to our right, home white uniforms. They're right in front of the rather large Jackson Tmberwolves student section, and going in for the lay-in up and good is Noah Foreman, and it goes right back to a lead for the Glacier Peak Grizzlies on their home floor, our third lead change of this ball game.
Jackson's so worried about Bobby Martin that they're doing a lot of double teams, and Martin's making him pay with some good passes.
Down low it goes, a shot on the way that won't go. That's going to be a miss by Ben Olson, and then a travel occurs off the rebound. It'll be turned over to Glacier Peak. Glacier Peak at home, leading at 7-6, 5:26 to play here in the opening quarter, this Wesco 4A boys matchup. And here comes Glacier Peak Grizzlies with the basketball. Sporting the top record in the Wesco 4A boys side. Over the left-hand side, that's Lawrence. Lawrence at the top of the key, it goes. To Foreman, now to Martin. He'll measure fire, offline left, won't go. A three ball by Martin, that's a miss. Down to Liddell, throws a baseball, football-type pass down to the other end. It's going to go out of bounds off of the hands of a Glacier Grizzly, so Jackson will have it underneath their own hoop to our left. They get it on the inbounds, 28 to shoot. Kevin Hahn out top of the key, looking left, dumps it down left to the low post, turn, face, and fire. Up and good by Kyle Bigovich, and it's back to a Jackson lead.
Bigovic gave him a nice target inside. Hahn got him the ball and just a little turnaround jumper from about 6 feet.
Close ball game here at Glacier Peak tonight. Putting up the elbow there was was Trey Lawrence trying to give himself some space. They're not going to necessarily call that. Martin tries the same spot. Another three. Same result. Won't go. Rebound. Kyle Bigovic. Outlet pass. Olsen. Length of the floor pass to the door and out of bounds. He thought maybe he could find Capone. Olsen did, and he couldn't do it.
Looking for a tight end.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a very accurate passer as a starting quarterback for Jackson, but that ball way overthrown.
So Glacier Peak, I think we're keeping Buddy Patrick up here tonight as he's yawning in our headphones. On top of the key, Trey Lawrence. Lawrence starts the dribble, guarded by Liddell. Now starts the dribble, goes down, puts it up off the glass. No, didn't even touch the glass. He just floated it in, up and in, and it's back to a lead for Glacier Peak. We've had 5 lead changes in this basketball game so far. There's 3:48 to go in the first quarter. A near steal. Hahn gets it back as Lawrence almost had it. Now Hahn has it. On top of the key, it goes to Bigovic. Now Hahn for a 3, rims off, no good. Bobby Martin runs in there and grabs the rebound, and on the outlet, here comes the Glacier Peak Grizzlies. Braden Corwin running the point. Stops at the top of the key. They swing a pass over the right corner to Martin.
Interesting matchup with Kevin Hahn on Bobby Martin, giving up about 5 or 6 inches.
Corwin, 3 ball, goes over the top of the backboard and off the chain and off the wood and everything else, and it drops out of bounds. And it'll be turned over, right back over to Jackson. Jackson down by 1 here, 9-8 the score. Checking in for the Timberwolves is Jesse Hoiby, the 6-foot sophomore, is into the ball game.
Jackson very, very young. No seniors in the starting 7.
Here's a little dribble drive by Hoiby, closed off there. The Jackson Timberwolves have decided, I think, not to get a haircut. There's lots of long hair out there. Bill's like the old days, like our days.
Yeah, that's right.
Hoiby goes to the deck, but they say the ball was knocked out of bounds by Glacier Peak, so Jackson will keep it. Olsen will throw it in.
Unfortunately, those of us now are having the longer hair so we can do a comb over.
So it's a jealousy thing now. Here's a fadeaway jumper. That's a nice-looking shot. That's a 2-ball up and in for Christian Liddell, and it's right back to a Jackson lead in this ball game.
Liddell with 6 points on the night.
A 10-9 lead for Jackson. Glacier Peak on their home floor with the basketball. Bobby Martin at the left wing. Dump it down low, turning, and then suddenly the defender was in the face of Fletcher Douglas, and so Jackson gets it. Two-handed slam dunk for Kyle Bigovic, and a technical foul will be called on Bigovic.
Oh, boy, Steve Johnson is not happy with Bigovic.
I don't think the slam dunk was fine. You can't hang on the rim. Right. You can't be Shaq. You can't be, yeah, that's what he's saying. A great athletic play. Thank you very much for the 2 points. You can't hang on the rim. They do it in college. They do it in the pros. You can't do it.
And that counts as a personal foul, of course, and a team foul. So now that'll send Bobby Martin to the free throw line. It's some free throws and possession.
Yeah.
That will negate the 2 points off of the dunk.
And Steve Johnson's having a little confab with Dana Bowers as well. He says, if he gone up, grab it so a guy's not under you, but then he swung back and forth once or twice. And
I totally agree with the call. He was swinging back and forth and not letting go.
Yeah. Speaking of jealous, some of us wish we could go up and do that.
Yeah. I think I can still touch the net.
So it's a 12-9 lead for Jackson. They're equaling their biggest lead of the game. First free throw on the technical by Martin is no good. That's his second was no good. He missed them both.
Martin's 0 for 2 from three-point range and 0 for 2 from the line. So he's starting off having a difficulty finding his range. And so Glacier Peak will get the ball, but Jackson retains that 3-point lead off of the dunk.
12-9 score, 2:18 to play. Fresh 35 in the shot clock. Glacier Peak with the ball. Braden Corwin has it. Swung it over left side. Noah Foreman had to kind of flag it down from going out of bounds. Back to Corwin again, 18 to shoot. Looking for a screen, finds one as they swing around the perimeter left side. Liddell to Lawrence to the baseline. And there's going to be a foul call, blocking foul call, down to 12 on the shot clock, and they're going to get bailed out by the personal foul. And they're going to call this foul on Liddell. His second personal foul, third team foul.
They can't afford to have Liddell go onto the bench. He's going to stay out there with 2 personal fouls. But Trey Lawrence is playing really, really well. You know, at 6'5", and he has such a quick first step to the hole. Really likes to go baseline.
Now Kevin Hahn's going to check in. They will bring Christian Liddell out. And now I think we're going to have a timeout called. And I think Steve Johnson is going to buy a timeout to get the sub in.
Well, I think he also wants the scoreboard to start working because he couldn't tell how many fouls
were
on Liddell. And we've had all sorts of weird gremlin power problems and connection problems here at Glacier Peak.
Well, Glacier Peak, and we're going to keep it right here during this timeout, but Glacier Peak kind of sits in this hole out on Cathcart Way. You can't get cell signal out. I'm hoping they're not going to unplug us down here as they're trying to check out. Now the scoreboard has gone blank and they've turned it back on, but they've had scoreboard problems out here since they opened the place.
Yeah, it's the little Cathcart gremlins that were mad because they built a school in the middle of their forest.
Well, except they built it over the top of a dump is what it is.
Okay, even worse.
If we remember the Cathcart landfill, that's where it's just right over there. So, okay, I think we're back and ready to go. We're still on. That's one step in the right direction. The team fouls are 3-2 in favor of Jackson, and it is Glacier Peak basketball. And Corwin has a wide open 3 that rims off, no good. Rebound's going to be grabbed down by his teammate, back up by Foreman. That's no good, got fouled on the way up. Steve Johnson's got his hands on his hip. He's just kind of chewing his gum and saying, let's not commit that foul.
Yeah.
So that will be Noah Foreman going to free throw. Uh-oh, just did lose it. I had to say something. But that's the first time it dropped, so.
Foreman got it right in the grill.
Come on.
Let's not come back here ever again.
Well, yeah. I think he's got to reset. No, I don't know. Okay, here we go. Okay. Did you end up resetting or not? We told you the Gremlins were at work out here, the Cathcart Gremlins from the landfill. It's a 12-10 lead for Jackson. Jackson with the basketball. Minute 15 to play in the first quarter here at Glacier Peak High School. Hoiby has it top of the key. Swing it over to Hahn at the left wing. They're just working the perimeter. Olsen has it. Starts the dribble, 22 to shoot. Over to Hahn, left-hand side. Looks at the top of the key. Swing it over to the right side to Olsen, a little runner that comes up woefully short of the rim, and Bobby Martin grabs the rebound for Glacier Peak. Corwin brings it out of backcourt and stops out between the circles. Looking down low, bounce pass it goes as they just work it around. Tough defense by Jackson. Liddell, Lawrence gets it over as Lawrence has it at the left wing. Dribble drive to the baseline now, puts up the right hand, puts it up with the left hand and off the glass and in. Trey Lawrence with the bucket, ties the score for the first time. We've had 6 lead changes, but this is our first tie. It's 12-12 with 17 seconds to play in the first quarter. And Jackson will play for one shot. Hoiby left wing to Olsen, down to 10 to go. Now Hoiby with it on the dribble to Hahn, down to 6, down to 5. On top of the key they go, no sense of urgency, down to 3, down to 2. Hoiby does, he puts it up too hard, no good. Martin grabs another rebound and will step aside at the end of the first quarter. Our score, the Jackson Tmberwolves 12, the Glacier Peak Grizzlies 12. This is Western Conference Basketball, Fox Sports 1380 and FM 95.3. Did you reset it this last time or not? Okay. All right. I don't know. It's just weird. Yeah. On occasion it is. Well, I do think it's a gremlin-y kind of thing in here. Yeah, I know. Don't know. We'll just soldier on. Game is also being broadcast on the internet, STSPN.com. Yeah, but we were perfect last time. Yeah. No, we were here earlier this year. A 12-12 tie. Jackson and Glacier Peak are tied in this Wesco 4A boys matchup. We'll take a look at the first quarter numbers here in just a moment. Back underway we go. Trey Lawrence has it, launches it inside. No over-the-top call, or they are going to call over-the-top. Trying to grab that was Fletcher Douglas.
Actually, they called him for spinning on the baseline.
Oh.
And so a turnover. Glacier Peak 5 for 10, 50% from the field. Jackson 5 for 12, 41%. Glacier Peak missed all 4 of their 3-point opportunities and were just 2 of 5 from the free throw line.
Hahn goes to the baseline, kicks it out for an open 3 by Jalen Searles that will not go. And the rebound's going to be grabbed down by Glacier Peak. Fletcher Douglas gets it to Corwin. And out of backcourt, here come the Grizzlies. As they work around the right side to Martin. Martin likes to work the right side of the lane. Going over for a nice, easy lay-in is Fletcher Douglas off the pass from Bobby Martin. And it's back to a Glacier Peak Grizzlies lead. Hoiby goes to the floor. Olsen goes airborne for a shot that won't go. But the follow-up is back up and in and good by Channer Hendrickson.
Glacier Peak really taking advantage of some height mismatches inside, and they've gotten a lot of close-in looks.
A 14-14 tie. Now Glacier Peak with it. Right side Lawrence. Lawrence goes to the top of the key for a pass to Douglas. Now left side it goes. Braden Corwin. Corwin out on top again to Noah Foreman. Closed off there. Goes left side. Open 3 ball for Corwin, and down it will go. Braden Corwin wide open for an NBA three-pointer, and it's a 17-14 lead for Glacier Peak. That's their biggest lead of this game. We've been played within a 6-point span with a couple of ties and 7 lead changes. Pull-up jumper by Olsen. It's up and it's in. Ben Olsen with the right handle at the left side of the lane. Now quickly down comes Trey Lawrence. A little early offense here for Glacier Peak, but they think better of it, and they will set up the half-court offense. They go down low, blocked out of bounds. Jalen Searles went airborne and blocked the shot of Fletcher Douglas out of bounds, and Glacier Peak will retain possession, 25 to shoot.
Searles at 6'5", got way off the ground to push that back in his face.
Glacier Peak inbounds to Martin, 20 to shoot. Corwin out on top, had a 3 the last time down. Won't be one here. He's got somebody in his away from the basket, have a hold away from the ball. The ball was out on the top, and the official, Dana Bowers, will make a call at the baseline. And this is going to be called against Jesse Hoiby. Picks up his second personal foul, 5th team foul.
Yeah, Hoiby's giving up 3 inches.
And I'm not sure what the official handed the ball off.
And he dropped it on the baseline. And they're giving him a turnover for that. Interesting. Ordinarily, the official will give him a second chance, but
wow.
Yeah.
And there's not a lot of baseline room here, but I don't know how long he held it. Did he complete the catch? Did he survive the ground?
I don't know. I don't know what completes a catch these days.
This is Hahn, top of the key. Used the elbow to make some space for himself and goes in and lays it up and in. He gave Bobby Martin a shove right in the old solar plexus, and no call there, and the bucket is up and in, and Jackson back out to the lead. That is our 8th lead change in this ball game. Go ahead.
Excuse me, Tom. Both teams getting really good balance for getting scoring from a lot of different players, even though Martin has yet to score for Glacier Peak.
But we've got bodies for both teams on the floor, and we're going to have a foul here. Noah Foreman's go to the free throw line. The foul's going to be on Channer Hendrickson for the Timberwolves. His first personal foul and the 6th team foul. Free throw here. Won't go. Foreman will get another. Hoiby checks out, and Christian Liddell checks in for Jackson.
Hoiby did a nice job defensively while he was in there.
Evan Manis will check in here after the next free throw. He's going to come in for Foreman. Manis, who missed a few games due to injury, will have to sit for a while as the next free throw won't go. And at the 5 minutes to play mark in the first half.
He was our player of the game the last time we were out here. Manis had a really good game.
And he's going to try to check in at the next dead ball, but right now Jackson's got better things to do. They're going to try to score here. Jackson with the top of the key. Channer Hendrickson at the corner. Liddell fresh off the bench, and a 3 ball goes down for Liddell, and it's out to a 4-point lead for Jackson, their biggest lead of the game. 21-17. Now Glacier Peak with it. Swing it over. Nice give and go for an easy lay-in. Fletcher Douglas got it to Noah Foreman, and he just kind of did a little reverse bounce pass in. Now out of control is Hahn. He goes to the deck. The ball goes up, won't go. Liddell has it. The ball goes up. It won't go. He goes to the deck as well. I think we're leading the league in players that are riding the pine, and it's the big sheet of pine out in front of us, not on the bench. Knocked to the ground, but no call. They say out of bounds, so it'll be Glacier Peak basketball.
It's been a great game so far. Jackson playing very, very well, getting a lot of people involved. Glacier Peak hoping to get Bobby Martin more involved in the offense, although he does have 3 rebounds and 2 assists.
And he's working the baseline now. Corwin has it out by the center line. Back to the basket there is Fletcher Douglas. Douglas dumps, now they dump it down low. Manis can't control it. It's going to be stolen away from him. Feed it forward as Olsen had it. Tried to lead a little bit too far for Kevin Hahn. And he couldn't handle the basketball that goes out of bounds at the baseline. Turn right back over to Glacier Peak. Down by 2 on their home floor. 3:50 to play first half. Manis back to the basket. So he worked to Lawrence, now down toward easy lay-in. Fletcher Douglas just kind of sandbags everybody, goes around the defender, lays it up and in, and we are tied for the 3rd time. It's 21-all.
Douglas now with 8 points in the ball game for Glacier Peak, playing a great game on the inside.
Nearly stole that one away, but Jackson kept it, and then they're going to call an offensive foul. I think Jalen Searles. Yeah, it will be. Jalen Searles called for the player control foul, and that will turn it right back over to Glacier Peak in a tie ball game with 3.5 to play in the first half.
That's not a good sign when you get called for an offensive foul for throwing a forearm, and yet you're the one that goes flying onto the ground.
That's right. Another body on the deck. Manis has it back to the basket at the high post. Swing it over to Martin. Martin will shoot a 3. That one won't go. Rims out, kept alive. Martin gets his own rebound back up and in. That's the way to do it. If you miss, go get it yourself. And He does. And we're going to have a timeout called here by Steve Johnson. 23-21 now. The lead for Glacier Peak on their home floor will step aside with 3:02 to play in the first half. Western Conference Basketball, Fox Sports, 1380 FM, 95.3. to Capone, safe from going out of bounds and into the Jackson Timberwolves student section and turned over on a not very good looking possession there for Jackson, and it'll be Glacier Peak basketball.
They just got it into him too deep, and he couldn't stay in bounds, and he tried to save it back, and it's very dangerous to try to save it like that. Had Glacier Peak been able to retrieve that ball, they would have had an unmolested lay-in. As it is, they will gain possession with a 2-point lead.
Kevin Hahn checks back in. Carter Korab was in for just a few moments, and he'll go back to the bench. Bobby Martin has the ball on the inbounds, directing traffic out between the circles. Swing it over to Fletcher Douglas, and a player control offensive foul is going to be called. Trey Lawrence, I think, is going to be the guilty party here.
Now here they did what I wanted him to do, but Trey Lawrence was posting up on Liddell. He's got about 5 inches on him, but as he was moving, he put his forearm out and shoved him as he went towards the basketball and was called for the offensive foul.
It was a no-no, and so that's no-no number 1 on Trey Lawrence, and 4th team foul. Now Jackson with it. Christian Liddell pretty much double team, but Martin's on him. Oh, almost a travel there, Kevin Hahn.
Yeah, he's laughing. Bigovich, he knows he took an extra step and got away with it.
Out between the circles, they work the perimeter. Jackson does, down to 9 to shoot. They try to force it down low again to Capone. Couldn't handle it. Grabbed by Corwin. Corwin dribbles it himself, then over to Martin. Open, in rhythm, puts up a 3, won't go. And Capone grabs the rebound. So quickly down the other end. Actually, the rebound was grabbed down by Bigovich. The put-up shot by Capone. That time it won't go. Back up. Shortest guy on the floor is Ben Olsen. He says, I'll take it, guys. Thank you very much, and tie it at 23.
Well, Corwin made a mistake there. He was saving the ball inbounds underneath the Jackson basket, and Jackson just grabbed the save and put in the lay-in.
44 seconds to go in the half. 21 to shoot here. Corwin with it. On the right-handed dribble. Swing it over to Douglas. Now to Manis, 13 to shoot now, to Martin. Martin looking to navigate through the defense, gives it off to Douglas, goes in, puts it up and lays it up and in. Fletcher Douglas slices his way and puts it down there and puts it in, and it's a 25-23 lead for Jackson.
They are just very quick on that first step to the hoop, and he made a nice move, took it right to the rim.
25-23 lead for Glacier Peak. 9 seconds to play in the half. Olsen with it. Down to 5, down to 4. Olsen lost the handle. Pull up. Jumper on the way. Good! And there is the horn. And we have a tie ball game here at the half. I'm not sure what the Las Vegas odds makers would have said about this ball game, but definitely Glacier Peak, the number 1 team. 3 more wins would be favored, but Jackson's sticking right with them.
They are playing very nice game, very balanced. I know that Steve Johnson, when I talked to him before the game, said that Liddell had a great game last time, but he didn't get enough help from the other players. And this time the scoring, as we'll see a little bit later, is a lot more balanced. Both teams moving the ball well. And Glacier Peak just having a little bit of trouble from the outside. They missed a lot of 3-pointers. They've done well working it on the inside, but they need to get their outside shooting game going.
Both teams scored 12 points in the first quarter. Both teams scored 13 points in the second quarter. We're tied at half, 25-25. Let's take a break and go back with our halftime features. Our score again, the Jackson Timberwolves 20.
close. The rebounding is close too. Each team with 9 rebounds. Jackson led by the 2 rebounds of Ben Olson and Kyle Bigovich. And Glacier Peak led by the 4 rebounds of Bobby Martin and 3 for Noah Foreman. 5 assists for Jackson led by the 2 of Ben Olson. 4 assists for Glacier Peak led by the 3 of Bobby Martin. Each team with 1 block shot.
Mike Benton of the Glacier or the Everett Silvertips calls our producer Brandon Hamilton, the director of research. It's 4 miles, Bill, from here to Jackson High School, not 3 miles. It's that one last bend from Safeway that you have to remember. So here we go, back to action here. Over to the right-hand side as they swing it to Trey Lawrence. Here's a shot on the way. Actually, it was Christian Liddell shot the air ball. Liddell's saying, I wish it was Lawrence because I didn't want to have an air ball on his resume. It goes out of bounds. 25-25 score. See what Glacier Peak can do with it.
Glacier Peak comes back down. Jackson kind of going for the outside shot. Glacier Peak running their offense, trying to get Bobby Martin going.
It doesn't go as he shot a 3 ball that will not drop, and it will be Jackson basketball. Out of backcourt comes Christian Liddell. Liddell working the right side. Martin's on him. Bounce a pass over down low to Capone. Try to lower pass, and it goes into the hands of, Trey Lawrence. It goes back the other way. We're going to have a push foul coming out of backcourt. Lawrence got the steal, and then he got fouled on the way coming out of backcourt, and that will be whistled on Kevin Hahn. That's his first personal foul, first team foul of the second half, of which we're 43 seconds in.
It's been kind of an odd game. There really hasn't been much of a flow to either team on the offensive end.
Top of the key as they work it right side. That's Noah Foreman. Now to Martin. Martin starts to dribble, leans in, puts it up and off the glass and in. Bobby Martin puts it up and in as he went down the right side of the key and back out to a Glacier Peak lead here at 27-25.
That's what Martin is going to have to do. He's 0 for 5 from three-point range. Going to have to drive the ball in and get some higher percentage shots.
Kevin Hahn takes a low percentage shot, really low percentage when he just hit the side of the backboard, and that's it. And the ball went out of bounds, and it'll be turned right back over to Glacier Peak with the lead.
Yeah, with Bobby Martin having a tough first half, it's kind of like poking a bear, and all it does is make him mad. And so I suspect we'll see him flashing to the hole quite a bit here in the second half.
Braden Corwin and Lawrence bring it out of backcourt as they'll work the left side. Fletcher Douglas. I always want to say Fletcher Douglas. Now Martin puts it on the deck, stops at the right baseline, kicks it back out. 15 to shoot. Lawrence has it. Now to Douglas, over to Martin, 3-ball, rims off, won't go. The outside shots aren't going. Kept alive, though, by Glacier Peak, and they flag it down. Noah Foreman does, out by the center line, so they'll reset the offense. Braden Corwin with it, right side. Now to Douglas. They swing it down to Martin, the laying up and good, but they're going to say no, a foul happened on the deck as Ben Olson is going to be the guilty party here. Yeah, Olson picks up the foul. That's his first personal foul, and the second team foul of the second half here against the Jackson Timberwolves. Inbounds to Douglas won't go. The return favor, it won't go either, and we got a foul called.
That'll send Noah Foreman to the free throw line, doing a nice job on the offensive boards, keeping that ball alive and drawing the foul.
And the foul is going to be on Jackson's Joe Capone. His first personal foul, third team foul all of a sudden. Free throw goes for Noah Foreman. The lead is 3. The lead is now 4, as that is Glacier Peak's biggest lead of the game, 4 points. Both teams have had a 4-point lead. We've had 4 ties and 10 lead changes. Got a good one out here at Glacier Peak tonight. Out top of the key. That's Bigovich. Give it off to Liddell. Hooks a pass to Capone as they work the left perimeter, and it goes to the doorway. And the doorway can't handle it, and so it'll be out of bounds, and it'll be a turnover, and it'll be a timeout called by Jackson. With 5:37 to play in the third quarter, it's Glacier Peak 29, Jackson 25. Western Conference Basketball, Fox Sports 1380 FM 95.3. Okay.
When you shop at Ace Hardware in Lake Stevens, you not only find what you need, we make sure you get the help you need too. Hi, this is Gray Eaglestead, and I own Lake Stevens Ace Hardware with my wife, Christine.
We'll greet you at the door and answer any questions you have about what you need. We're all about serving our customers and our community.
We support local high school sports and many other Lake Stevens organizations and events throughout the year.
So the next time you need something for that job around the house and a little friendly advice, come see us.
Ace Hardware in Lake Stevens, we are the helpful hardware folks.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware folks.
Here at Glacier Peak High School, Jackson and Glacier Peak, and on their home floor, the Grizzlies with a 29-25 lead. Back to action, 5.5 to go, third quarter. Bobby Martin, top of the key, splits the defense, puts it off the glass and in. If the outside shots aren't going, take it inside. He does, and opens up a 6-point lead for Glacier Peak.
Just a couple of trips to the basket, now 6 points for Martin, and taking advantage of his height advantage against Hahn.
Kevin Hahn has it at the top of the key. Over it goes to Capone. To the baseline, closed off there. To Hahn again, foul line jumper. Rattles off, won't go. Kept alive by his teammate. Back out for a reload. The shot won't go. That's going to be a miss for Christian Liddell. Up the floor to Lawrence. Now to Martin. Back to Lawrence. Going in. Laying good. Ball never touched the ground. Two players hit the ground. Olsen and Martin. 33-25, the 8-point lead. And we had whistles on both ends of the floor. And they're going to call the foul on Trey Lawrence. That'll be his second personal foul and the first team foul.
Now Bobby Martin got the assist on the other end of the floor, but he hit the ground pretty hard and went sliding in, and he's kind of trying to shake off a little bit of a sore leg, it looks like.
And so the foul had been called on Lawrence.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Martin's hurt. They need to get him out of there.
Yeah, he can hardly walk. And showing some concern down here is Brian Hunter. What are you going to do? Jackson has the basketball, trying to take advantage. Here's a shot on the way. Foul line jumper up, and it's good. Up and good by Kyle Bigovich. And Martin, well, he's kind of running a little bit better now. Just kind of worked his way through it. Oh, just about tripped over Kevin Hoiby then as he went down to the other end. To the top of the key, they go almost a travel there for Fletcher Douglas. Now give it to Martin. Dribble drive across the top of the key. Swing it down to the baseline. Lawrence off the glass. Too hard. No good. Put back up and good. Trey Lawrence missed the first one. Got the second one. Up and in. It's 35-27. Glacier Peak with a lead on their home floor.
Good things happen when you follow your shots. That's exactly what Trey Lawrence did on that play to get the putback off his own miss.
Capone right side. Deeper in the right corner it goes to Olsen. He dribbles to the baseline. Thinks better of it, swings it back out on top. Jesse Hoiby with it, goes to the foul line. Then it looks like a soccer play there for Olsen. And a errant whistle here. Ryan Taylor says timeout, but I don't think that was a timeout called by Steve Johnson, because Steve looked up and said, huh? I did not call a timeout.
No, I think it was just a miscommunication.
And so I don't know if they're going to reset some time. Inadvertent whistle is what they'll say. 9 seconds on the shot clock. 3.5 to go in the third quarter. And Ryan Taylor heard what he thought he saw, or saw what he thought he heard, and it will be an inadvertent whistle. And inbounds here for Jackson. Down by a 35-27 score. 8-point deficit. And then Olsen dribbled it nearly out of bounds and got pushed out of bounds. He was going out on his own volition, but they're going to call this one on Trey Lawrence. Picks up his third personal foul, second team foul.
Jackson gets bailed out a little bit that time. They want to be a little bit careful with Lawrence. He's very valuable, and he picks up his third personal foul.
Olsen will throw it in. Fresh 35 on the shot clock from the far corner. At the baseline, looking, goes in, going in, reverse lay-in. That's a nice play right there. Got it to Kyle Bigovich, kind of over the top, and then he went underneath and reverse laid it in from the other side and pulls them to within 6 points at 35-29. 3:10 to play in the third quarter. Now there's Martin going into the rack, puts it up too hard. The lay-in missed. Rebound, grab, nope.
Hoiby grabbed it, but he was out of bounds, and he touched the basketball before he reestablished himself inbounds, which will allow Glacier Peak to inbound from underneath their own basket, leading by 6.
Yeah, in football, that's illegal touch. Illegal touch, you have to reestablish yourself inbound. He was airborne for about 12 feet through the air, too, by the way. It looked like Harry Potter flying through the air.
A little Quidditch match.
So here's an inbounds here for Glacier Peak. Martin, open three. No, it won't go. You can't get him to go. And high in the air, grabbing the rebound is Bigovich for Jackson. Here come the Timberwolves. Quickly, Olsen down to the baseline. Lost the handle on it momentarily. Retained possession goes to Bigovich. Right side, shot on the way. Three ball, won't go. That's a miss by Channer Hendrickson. Rebound grabbed by Lawrence for Glacier Peak, and he'll just say, I'm dribbling it out of here myself. And he does to the baseline off his foot, and a foul called.
Ooh, I don't know.
Wow.
It looked to me like he just dribbled the ball off his foot out of bounds.
This is going to be called on Christian Liddell, his third personal foul. Fourth team of the second half. Out of bounds, baseline. Fresh 35 of the shot clock for Glacier Peak. They lead at 35-29. And a travel. Unforced, well, I don't think anything's unforced. Both teams playing tough defense. This is a low-scoring ball game.
It is very low-scoring game, and you're right, two teams that are really putting it on the line on the defensive end.
Hoiby dribbles it out of backcourt for Jackson in the black uniforms, dribbling to our right. Green numbers, elevating for a shot. The three in the corner, right side. It goes, and down it goes. For Christian Liddell buries the three ball, and it's suddenly a 3-point lead. It was as much as 8 points in this ball game for Glacier Peak just a few moments ago. It's 3 now, and Glacier Peak with it. Out on top of the key, Noah Foreman. Give it off to Corwin as they swing it to Douglas. Now to Lawrence. Lost the handle on it, but Douglas is there to save him. And here's a shot of the way. Foul line jumper won't go for Foreman. Kept alive by Martin. Back up. It won't go, and he'll have to go to the free throw line.
There are some great battles underneath. Players just clawing and scratching and bumping and trying to get that basketball.
Channer Hendrickson picks up the foul for Jackson. Second personal foul. Fifth team foul. Free throws here for Bobby Martin. Martin will shoot the first one. It's good. He'll get another. 36-32 the score. 4-point lead for Glacier Peak. He's still favoring that right leg, but he just plays on. With 1:46 to play in the third quarter. Next one is good. And a timeout called here by Glacier Peak. 1:46 to play in the third quarter. It's Glacier Peak 37, Jackson 32. Western Conference Basketball, Fox Sports 1380 FM 95.3.
Did you know that Speedway Chevrolet is part of the Lee Johnson Auto family? That means 84 years of serving you the LJ way. Need a truck? We have the perfect truck to fit your needs. Half tons, 1 ton, 2-wheel drives, and 4-wheel drives. Our finance specialists are here to help you, whether you have good credit or bad credit. We're just off Highway 522 at West Main Street in Monroe.
Lee Johnson Auto Family, the LJ way.
Third quarter at Glacier Peak High School tonight. Jackson and Glacier Peak, a 5-point lead for the Grizzlies, and Jackson with the basketball. That's Hendrickson. He'll dump it down low. Back to the basket, turn, face and fire. Bigovich misses. Bigovich with the miss and a rebound grab down by Glacier Peak. Coming down, Douglas. He likes to split the defense. He does that time, but won't go. A put back up and good for Foreman. No, and he traveled with the basketball. Kind of a hoppity, skippity, jumpity in there, and he kind of hoppity and skippity one too many times.
Sound like Peter Rabbit.
I think more Peter Cottontail hopping down the bunny trail. So 5-point lead. Here's a shot on the way. That's a 3 ball that won't go for Jackson. A miss there by Channer Hendrickson.
Liddell got the rebound and was fouled underneath.
Yeah, got the offensive rebound, got fouled on the way up, and the foul's going to be on Fletcher Douglas. The 6'4 junior picks up the foul. And it's going to be his first personal foul and the third team foul. The first free throw is good. Christian Liddell, the 6'1 junior, averages 15.3. Missed it. So if it doesn't go through, then it's a miss. Okay, I got it. The next one is good. That one I got. 37-33. I was correct 1 of 2 times. Bounce pass to Bobby Martin. Almost lost handle on it. Evan Manis has it. Goes in off the window and in. Evan Manis split the defense and makes it a 6-point ball game. Under a minute to play now in the third quarter. As they work it to Liddell. He starts to dribble, closed off there. He'll stop, he'll pop, he won't go because it's going to be partially blocked there. Partially blocked by Douglas. Up the floor quickly. Manis goes in, swatted out of bounds and swatted to the ground is what it'll be. And it's going to be Kyle Bigovich. Kind of took a big roundhouse swing at the basketball and got him with the body. And it'll be Bigovich picks up the foul. The 6'6 junior with his second personal foul. 6th team foul, and Evan Manis at the free throw line. Tonight's game brought to you in part by Glass by Lund, Allstate Insurance Agent Brian Reed, the Lake Stevens Ace Hardware Store, and by Major League Pizza. Couple of subs checking in for Jackson. Paul Doney will come in, and Jalen Searles will come in. A couple of guys will go to the bench and get some rest here the last 37.8 seconds of the third quarter. Next free throw for Manis, rattles out, won't go. And the rebound's going to be grabbed down by Jackson. Olsen, we called him in there first time we saw Jackson, the Energizer Bunny. He doesn't sit. He's just going all the time. He's on the dribble now. 7-point deficit for Jackson. 24, about a 2-second differential from shot clock to game clock. Christian Liddell at the left wing. Goes around Douglas, goes in. They're going to say no, a foul. They're going to call a foul here on Douglas. Fletcher Douglas picks up the foul on Glacier Peak. His second personal foul and the 4th team foul. And no free throws. Common foul, out of bounds, baseline for the Jackson Timberwolves. Shot clock is dead with 10 seconds to play in the quarter. Olsen looks for a screen, goes in with a runner with the right hand, won't go. Rebound grab down to 5. Quickly up the floor goes to Douglas. Down to 3, down to 2, off the glass and in. And that'll bring us to the end of the third quarter. And the biggest lead of the ball game for either team. It's a 9-point lead for Glacier Peak, 42-33. Western Conference Basketball, Fox Sports 1380 FM 95.3. Okay. Could never look up like the guys that were on Silvertip's radio show. Here we go, final quarter of action. Does Jackson have one more run in them because they're down now by 9 points, 42-33. Glacier Peak starts with the basketball. Evan Manis to Martin, who's been ice cold from outside, been working other ways, going in like an assist right there. With the right hand, Noah Foreman lays it up and in, and the lead is out to 11 points for Glacier Peak.
They've just made a big move after being tied at halftime and have dominated this quarter.
Hoiby dribbled to the baseline. That's kind of his specialty there, and I think Bobby Martin's going to be called for the foul. And they're going to call this one. Yeah, Martin will be called for the foul. That's going to be his second personal foul, 5th team foul. Out of bounds to the baseline for the Jackson Timberwolves. Hoiby is going to go to the bench, as is Paul Doney. Glacier Peak won the first meeting back in December, 63-56. Partially blocked there on a shot by Liddell that will not go. Corwin brings it out of backcourt for Glacier Peak, trying to increase their lead, which is 11 right now. 45 seconds into the fourth quarter. Cross-court pass near side, elevate, 3 on the way. Bounces off the back of the iron, no good. Hahn grabs the rebound for Jackson. Up the floor to Searles. Nearly lost it. He did lose it, but he's going to get fouled by Corwin. Corwin was with Searles stride for stride hitting down the field. They're going to be calling him for the foul. Corwin with the foul. His second personal, 6th team foul. Team fouls all even up at 6 apiece. And we're back underway here with a fresh 35 on the shot clock for Jackson, who can't afford to take 35. They've got to score quickly. Here's a shot of the way, and one. And one for Jalen Searles. He kind of just flipped around the defender and kind of flipped the ball up toward the hoop. It went through, and he got fouled.
Very quick, 6'5", very thin, but he made the move, and he was able to finish and draw the foul. Nice play for the sophomore.
Free throw, good. Completes the three-point play. The foul had been whistled on Evan Manis, his first, and the 7th team foul. So from now on, both teams in the bonus. Manis at the left wing for Glacier Peak. They lead at 44-36. Pull-up jumper for a 3, won't go for Martin, and a push foul is going to be called. I think Manis is going to be the guilty party here, trying to grab the rebound off the miss by Martin. It will be Evan Manis picking up the foul.
And all of a sudden, Jackson trying to scrap their way back.
And Jackson trying to do what Brian Hunter does not want them to do, score with the clock stop. Olsen at the line. Foul was on Manis' second personal. Both teams in the bonus. Free throw won't go for Ben Olsen.
Got to hit those free throws.
I was going to say, as Brad Baxter used to say, kids, you got to hit your free throws. Here's Corwin out of backcourt. He probably still says it, actually. Manis has it. Up fake for a 3. Instead goes in closer and lays it up and in. Says, I'm going to make up for it. He does. And a timeout called by Jackson. We step aside with 6:22 to play in the basketball game. The lead is 10 for Glacier Peak, 46-36. Western Conference Basketball, Fox Sports 1380 FM 95.3.
Tmberwolves live! We are all frustrated with the high cost of heating and cooling our homes. At GNS, we are completely changing the way you keep your home comfortable. Our Mitsubishi electric cooling and heating system allows you to control the temperature in each room separately, all of which can be controlled from your smartphone or tablet. And because we are the mini split experts here in Washington, we can design a perfect system for you, one that will save you a lot of money on your utility bill. Call GNS Heating, Cooling, and Electrical today or visit us at gsheating.com.
Last play was a total miscommunication on defense because Manis just was gone unguarded right in for the lay-in to put them up by 10. And so immediately Steve Johnson for Jackson calls timeout to make sure that his team knows their defensive assignments.
6:22 to play, and here we go, Jackson basketball. Ben Olsen brings it out of backcourt for the T-Wolves. Still on the dribble, comes to the top of the key, goes around 2 defenders, goes in, tried a little hook lay-in, or was a pass? It doesn't matter, it was a steal. Noah Foreman says, picked it right off his hands and took it away from him. Looked like Miles Jack on Sunday, just said, thanks, I'll just take it away from you, and I'm going the other way. And here's Corwin. Corwin at the foul line, and he double dribbled. It looked awkward, and it was awkward, and it was a turnover. And it's Jackson's basketball.
Jackson's got to find something on offense. Liddell hasn't had any open looks here in the second half.
Yeah, they're getting the opportunities. They just haven't taken advantage of it. Olsen, what'll he do with it? He looks like he's triple teamed. There's not a black shirt around him. He'll pass it up to Hahn. Now back to Olsen again, top of the key. 18 to shoot. Dribble down, drive, puts it up too hard off the glass, no good. The ball surrounded by white shirts from Glacier Peak. Corwin comes away with it. Up the floor to Corwin, to Martin. And a foul's going to be called, but they're going to call the block. That's a couple times tonight that the guy that's the foul's going to be called on is going to be on the deck. And that's going to be Christian Liddell with that one.
You just have to be impressed with the defensive effort by Glacier Peak. Jackson's averaging just a hair under 60 points per ball game, and here they've held them to 36 through 3.5 quarters.
That's going to be the 4th personal on Liddell. He'll have to stay out there the final 5.5 of the game. Bobby Martin at the free throw line. The first one is good. And he will get another, equaling now Glacier Peak's biggest lead of the game, 11 points at 47-36. Another one by Martin. It's up and it's good.
Martin finally gets into double figures with 10 points.
Here's Olsen to Bigovich for Jackson as they'll work it. Liddell has it. Right back on the give and go, and the give and go got up and went because it went right off of Bigovich and out. I don't even know if he even touched it, though.
I don't know if he saw it. That was a pretty good pass going on the back door, and he just, for whatever reason, couldn't haul it in.
Doot, 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 looking out my back door. Here's Braden Corwin. To Martin, back to Corwin again. Kicked, and it's good! He kicked the ball about 40 yards in the air.
Of course, if that would have been Blair Walsh, she would have said, no good.
It's wide right.
Jackson's gone into kind of a funky zone type defense. They're bringing Jalen Searles way out in front at 6'5" with a big wingspan, kind of doing like a 1-3-1 zone defense to try to get something going here.
Is that what they call it in the Jackson playbook, the funky zone? The funky zone?
Going to be the new dance sensation.
We're doing the funky zone. Manis with it, cross court, Martin for Glacier Peak, and they're going to call him for the offensive foul. Yeah, Kevin Hahn came up right in his grill, and Bobby Martin took exception to that and kind of gave him a little, and down he went. There may have been a little bit of acting, accepting the award for Kevin Hahn.
I don't know. He got popped in the jaw. I think I would have gone down. Well, that's not saying much.
See how his mandibles are here as we head into the final 4:44 of this ball game. Christian Liddell, pull-up jumper from the foul line. It rattles off, no good. Hahn grabs a rebound, surrounded by White Church. Back out on top of the key, goes to Capone. Over to Hahn again. So Jackson reloads on the offense, down by 12. He dribbles to the baseline. Hahn lays it up. It won't go. And Martin grabs the rebound. Bodies tripping coming up the floor. Corwin slows things down and says, can we just rest for a minute here? 48-36.
Brian Hunter is telling him to use some of the clock here and move the ball around a bit. Clock is on their side with a 12-point lead.
Here's a little spin move by Douglas over to Manis. He shoots a ball that will not go. The rebound surrounded by Joe Capone. And out of backcourt, here comes Jackson. Pull-up jumper for a three. Won't go. Liddell with the miss. Martin with the rebound. Corwin with the basketball. And 3:50 to play in the game. And the lead is a dozen for the Glacier Peak Grizzlies on their home floor. In the corner, Martin. Swing it out, top of the key. Foreman. Now Douglas. Back to Manis again. They will work the perimeter. 14 to shoot. Got down to about 12 to shoot, and Noah Foreman just split the defense, got a pass and laid it up and put it in, and the lead is out to 14 points for Glacier Peak. That may have just been that. Liddell goes in. I'm not sure he got fouled on the first bump by Douglas or the second bump by Douglas. Doesn't matter. They'll just count one of them, and that's going to be his third personal foul. Douglas picks up the foul. 10th team foul. Double bonus here for Christian Liddell at the free throw line for Jackson. Liddell's free throw won't go.
They have been on 36 for a long time.
Yeah.
For about 3 minutes since Jackson has scored.
Yeah, it was 42-33 Glacier Peak at the quarter break after the third quarter. Jackson only scored 8 points in the third quarter. They've only scored 3 points here with 3:12 to play in the fourth quarter. Next one by Liddell will go. 50-37, 13-point lead, 3:12 to go. If you got something, here it is. Time to shove the chips to the center of the table. Braden Corwin with it. But they can't do anything as long as Glacier Peak is using up most of the shot clock before they take a shot. Douglas, dribble drive, goes in. Laid it up too hard, no good. Capone grabs the rebound for Jackson. Quickly up the floor. Liddell to the baseline. Double team there. Somebody's got to be open. That's Capone, top of the key. Swings a pass down low. That was a nice pass to Hahn, but he can't complete the lay-in. Back to Hahn again. No. As the rebound was grabbed down, Bigovic had it, kind of tried a wraparound pass to Hahn. He didn't see it coming. The ball went out of bounds. It'll be Glacier Peak basketball.
Coach Johnson saying to Bigovic, shoot it, shoot it. He passed up about a 4-footer and ended up not making the connection to Hahn.
And here we go, Glacier Peak basketball, 2:35 to play. 50-37 the score. Backing in is Corwin. Now Douglas as they work the perimeter left-hand side. Starting the dribble is Trey Lawrence. Lawrence off by the center line. 16 to shoot. They'll use some more time. 2:16 to play in the game. Down to 10 to shoot. He's still on the dribble. That's Lawrence up by the big logo in the center of the floor. 6 to shoot. 5 to shoot. That's Douglas. 3 to shoot. 2 to shoot. Turnaround on the way. Offline, no. Didn't even hit the rim. So it's going to be a shot clock violation. But you know what? That's okay, says Coach. They used up most of it. Down to 2:02 to play. Actually, he probably didn't say okay. He would have liked to have a fairly decent shot with like 4 seconds to go on the shot clock. Yeah, we're going to have a timeout called here. We'll take a break. 2:02 to play in the game. 50-37. The lead for Glacier Peak. Western Conference Basketball, Fox Sports 1380 FM 95.3. Player of the game. By Brian Reed Insurance. And Bill, you like
I like Noah Foreman. Doesn't
he's a nice guy.
Doesn't have
not that kind of like. Okay.
Doesn't have a lot of points, but he kind of represents the guys that do the grunt work inside, the little things, the playing the tough defense.
The Bill Kuslers, we call that.
Got 7 rebounds, some assists, a couple steals, and a block shot. Played really good defense.
Here's a shot on the way. That won't go. Back up one more time by Hoiby. That will go, but they're going to say no. The shot's going to be, or the foul's going to happen before. Oh, they're going to score the bucket, and they're going to call the foul.
I would call that an NBA continuation.
Wow. So Bobby Martin picks up the foul. That's his 4th personal foul. And so Hoiby at the free throw line for Jackson. Lead is 11 with 1:52 to play. Lead is 10 with 1:52 to play. 50-40. Low-scoring game. See what happens here. Glacier Peak.
And they're in absolutely no hurry.
No, down to 25 to shoot. Corwin closed off at the baseline. They'll just work the perimeter. Bobby Martin. Martin has the top of the key. Looking down low. Passes it off. Now goes to Trey Lawrence again. 13 to shoot. Lawrence starts to dribble to the baseline. Goes down. Power move to the rack. Puts it up no good. But the follow-up is good by Fletcher Douglas. 52-40. 1:20 to go. Olsen brings it down. Lost the handle on it momentarily. Goes into the trees of white players in white uniforms. And it's going to be completely taken away. It's Glacier Peak basketball now as the steal there by Fletcher Douglas. Up the floor. Oh, Bobby Martin had a bad pass. Picked off there by Christian Liddell. Goes in. A little hook shot off the window and in. A timeout called by Jackson.
That was sweet. Just a kind of a timing play. Just lifting the ball up before the defender could get up. Just kind of silently kisses off the glass and goes down. That was pretty.
So with 55 seconds to go, the Timberwolves call a timeout. Steve Johnson is down, putting some new players in. You know, strange things have happened with 55 seconds to go.
Not this strange.
Yeah, this would be really, really strange. Again, back with you tomorrow night here on Fox Sports 1380 FM. That's the Buffalo Farm, and we'll flip the script on the girls' side. Jackson and Glacier Peak tomorrow night. And we've got it for you. Mark and Mike on the call. Here's a steal. Stealing away. Go down to Bigovich off the window and in. Bigovich lays it up and in. And now Steve Johnson will call his last time out. The lead is 8 points.
And it's, he's coaching to the very end. That's a sign of a great coach. And they're down by 8. See if they can get another steal. See what they do. Glacier Peak was a little bit casual with that last pass.
Well, this is about the time, and most of the games we do, it seems like, we're saying, they should be really playing all the other players. Not tonight. This is a starters game.
Yeah, exactly. It's been a very well-played game defensively. Kind of a little bit disjointed on offense, but that's been caused by the excellent defense by both ball clubs.
Jackson averages scoring 58 points a game. They've got 44. Glacier Peak averages scoring 69 points a game. They've got 52. So it has been a defensive struggle here on a Tuesday night in Cathcart. And we're going to have Glacier Peak ready to go.
Even though Jackson looks like they will probably lose this ball game, drop them into 4th place, but their top 7 or so players are all underclassmen, and they've got to be looking forward to next year.
Glacier Peak on the inbounds, looking. They go to Bobby Martin. Will they take a foul? No. Douglas has it in backcourt, starts the dribble. Now he will be fouled. He will be fouled there by Jalen Searles. He was on the floor.
That was a good play. They tried twice to get the steal. When they were unable to get the steal, then they were forced to foul.
Now Jackson hoping for a miss here. Fletcher Douglas at the free throw line. On the way, won't go. So they got the miss. Searles gets it. Olsen brings it down. Can they pop a 3? Almost losing handle. It was Liddell. Liddell goes to the baseline. Fade away for a 2. Bounces off. No good. Grabbing the rebound. Well, it was kept alive there by Noah Foreman. Grabbed by Bobby Martin. And a foul is going to be called in backcourt. So right there, you were talking about Noah Foreman being just
doing the little things, and he won't get a stat for that. But he saved it in bounds to Martin, who was then fouled. And so Martin will get an opportunity with free throws here to pretty much ice this ball game.
They will clear out the lane. The Glacier Peak Grizzlies will. Bobby Martin at the free throw line, surrounded by Tmberwolves. 18.3 seconds ago and a 52-44 score. Free throws up, and it is good. And makes it 53-44. We'll get our player of the game here fairly rapidly, we hope. Next free throw, no good. Clock starts. Here comes Liddell out of backcourt for Jackson. Pull-up jumper for Jackson for a 3. It goes. No timeouts left. Down to 7, down to 6. It's going to be then inbounded and a foul called. That's all they could do. Douglas will go to the free throw line.
Unfortunately, that's going to be 5 on Liddell, their best shooter.
Yeah, Christian Liddell will foul out of the ball game. They have no timeouts remaining as they've cashed them all in. And that's going to be 5 personals on Liddell. He will go out. Kevin Hahn will come in. And Fletcher Douglas will go to the free throw line. Fletcher Douglas has had a nice game tonight, too.
Yeah, he has. He did good scoring, particularly in the first half when he had 11. And he's got 15 now, count 16 with that shot.
The lead is 7 points. It was 14 points, and Jackson made a valiant comeback, but just came up a few points short. Next free throw good by Douglas with just 4 seconds remaining. Inbounded by Jackson. They'll bring it down, launch a 3. Searles will go off the back of the iron, and no good. And that will be your final score, with the Glacier Peak Grizzlies on their home floor winning it 55-47 over the Jackson Tmberwolves. We'll take a 1-minute break, come back with our player of the game. Our score again, Glacier Peak 55, Jackson 47. Western Conference Basketball, Fox Sports 1380 FM 95.3.
Did you know that Speedway Chevrolet is part of the Lee Johnson Auto family? That means 84 years of serving you the LJ way. Need a truck? We have the perfect truck to fit your needs. Half tons, 1 ton, 2-wheel drives, and 4-wheel drives. Our finance specialists are here to help you, whether you have good credit or bad credit. We're just off Highway 522 at West Main Street in Monroe.
Lee Johnson Auto Family, the LJ way.
Tonight.
All right.
Okay, we're back in about 30 seconds here or so.
Sweet. Oh, that scared me.
Final score.
Well, first off, I mean, we're tied half. I mean, 22-22. He told us they're out hustling us right now. They out hustled us the first half. We know that. So our main goal for the second half was out hustling them and boxing out, getting all rebounds. And then we switched to silver, our 3-2, and we talked and we got out.
Talk about. We thought the other guy that had a good game tonight was Fletcher.
Oh yeah.
Talk about your buddy Fletcher.
There's many things to say about Fletcher. I mean, oh yeah.
Well, give us a couple anyway.
I mean, he's a hustler. I mean, he's like right next to me whenever I need him. He's always there for a pass, so he got me for a pass. I like Fletcher having him on the court, working with me. It's fun.
Well, it's never an easy game in the Wesco 4A, is it?
Yeah.
And Jackson came to play tonight, and they played you really tough. But just talk about a little bit about your role. I know Bobby is usually the one that's scoring. He wasn't scoring too much tonight, so did you guys have to adjust in some way to that?
Yeah, we prepare for this, like, cause now they're focusing on Bobby, so we get other options like Fletcher. Like Fletcher got a lot more options, a lot of open shots. Trey got a lot of open shots. I mean, Braden, like mostly Braden hit threes. I mean, we all just had good games.
Well, good job tonight.
Thank you.
Congratulations, and go get him on Friday.
Thanks.
There you go. Try to be careful when you walk out. Yeah. Okay. Well, just to tell you that when Noah came up here, he tripped almost over the entire thing, and that's all you need to do is break your leg. And
of course, yeah.
Coach would never let us have a player of the game again. Again, our player of the game brought to you by Allstate Insurance Agent Brian Reed. Brian lives and works in your community. Get a quote at 425-337-4646. You're in good hands with Allstate. Again, Noah Foreman getting a shirt from Screen Printing Northwest, our Allstate player of the game. On STSPN, we're going to step out. 55-47 the final. Glacier Peak with a win over Jackson.